morning, everyone. Salam Sejahtera, Vanakkam, Namaste, Ni Hao. Welcome to YOZUMM show, Coffee Chat. I'm Roshanee, your host for this evening. I hope everyone is doing good. Our program is brought to you by Anti-Aging Yoga and Wellness of Malaysia, by our founder, Yo Master, Dr. Adrian Suresh, and I am the brand ambassador for Anti-Aging Yoga and Wellness Malaysia. Dr. Adrian created chair yoga, which is YOZUMM chair yoga, which is the first of its kind in Malaysia for everyone, be it the young, the old, those with ailments, certain disabilities, and limitations. Now everyone can do yoga. You can perform yoga on your own chair in the comfort of your home, wherever you are. Join us live online as we are running a 100-day chair yoga program in conjunction with International Yoga Day, which falls on the 21st of June, 2021. You can watch and follow Dr. Adrian Suresh Chair Yoga program right from the comfort of your home. And in order to do that, please like and share our Anti-Aging Yoga and Wellness page. During these 100 days of our program, there will be many workshops also organized for you. During this pandemic time, it is crucial that you stay home and practice hygiene. So while being home, everyone needs to have some form of exercise. And in order to have that exercise, you need to be having that time, right? So now with all the gyms closed and you do not have much place to go to, why not try yoga? Previously, yoga was thought to be an exercise which is only meant to be performed on the floor. But now Dr. Adrian Suresh has made it possible for everyone to do yoga because yoga helps you with your breathing. This idea was mooted by Dr. Adrian himself as one of the steps to combat COVID-19 because yoga helps you with your breathing, I mentioned earlier, and it also teaches you the proper technique of breathing. Our first guest on our YOZUMM show today, we are proud to announce, is one of the foremost frontliner in combating this COVID-19. And our guest is Dr. Buveinthiran Balakrishnan, General Surgeon from General Hospital, Kuala Lumpur. Hello, Doctor. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm good too. Trying to keep sane and, keeping ourselves occupied. And at the same time, making sure that we are safe and sound. And the best thing about this pandemic, Doctor, is that we are all home with our loved ones.
Yeah, that's right. You can spend a lot of time at home, but people need to follow the advice most of the time.
Yes, correct, Doctor. Thank you very much for being here on our show today. I know it's your off day today. You're most welcome. It's an honor and privilege to have you here on our show because we do know the mental strains and physical strains faced by the frontliners. And you being one yourself, there must be a lot of things that you're going through. Despite that, rest is very, very important. But I do understand the resting period is something that is very, very treasured, right? And thank you so much for being here with us. Please give us a brief introduction about yourself and your background.
Okay, all right. Thank you again, Roshi. Salam Sejahtera, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm sure everybody's bored sitting at home because of the MCO, but you have to bear with it. Hopefully, you can bring the cases down. Anyway, like what Ms. Roshanee said, I'm Buveinthiran. I'm currently working as a general surgeon in Kuala Lumpur. I'm from a family of 5. I'm the eldest in the family. I did my preliminary undergraduate studies in Melaka Manipal Medical College and subsequently did my master's in University Islam Antarabangsa in Kuantan, attached to HTAA. So I've been working for about 15, 13 years now. I've been working in Kuala Lumpur General Hospital for the past 3 years. And like what Ms. Roshanee said, yes, I've been involved in managing COVID patients. In fact, during the first pandemic, where the numbers were actually much lesser than we were actually roped in to deal with COVID patients. Now, because the numbers are so much more, we've got dedicated wards for surgical, COVID patients with surgical problems, which we do manage from whenever there is cases to do.
Okay, doctor. So that means basically you're all the frontliners directly involved with the COVID-19 patients.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Since you are one of the foremost frontliners, could you give us some information of the work that you do before you start work?
Okay.
I mean, how do you
Before I
prepare
start,
yourself before you start your duty? You know, you have your own SOPs, and you have your own guidelines to follow, right? Can you just
yeah,
give us
okay.
a brief info on that?
Okay, fine. The thing is, the SOP is generally the same for everybody. I'm sure you read enough from the papers, from the medias. You know, you have to wear your mask, wear your face shield, hand washing, and take. Of course, when you're dealing with COVID patients who are definitely positive, you take additional precautions. So what we do, for example, the day we go in, we are going to go into the the COVID ward where it's filled with COVID patients. We need to change our clothes and all that. We have to change into what we call hospital scrubs. We change into that. Then we do the whole procedure where we call donning. All right, we have to wear the whole, the whole, I'm sure you see enough photos on the medias. We wear the whole space suit kind of looking apparel, which is very uncomfortable. You tend to sweat profusely in it. Then with your face shield, your mask, and somebody will check everything is okay, the seal, everything is proper. Only then we go into the ward. Then once we go into the ward, we see every patient separately. Again, it's a bit of it's different from what we used to do because you can't bring in the notes, you can't bring in all the files into the ward. So you have to go in, you have to see, and then you have to come out and then inform your colleague what's the plan, how's the patient doing. All the documentation will be done outside the ward. You can't bring all those inside to reduce the risk of transmission outside, you know what I mean? And then once you're done with the rounds, you have to come up, we call doffing. So where we remove all the apparel that we want, you need to follow a systematic steps as well in order to not to expose yourself accidentally to the virus. So you follow, and then you have to shower in the ward itself. There's a place where we have to shower before we come out back into the clear or the safe zone. That's our daily routine. And again, if there's any patient requiring surgery, which needs to be brought into the operation theater, again, if you don't do the same thing in the OT, where we have to change into the scrubs, wear the whole spacesuit. And the thing in operation theater will be different. We wear something called a PAPR, the powered air purifying respirator, the one with the whole you see like a big tube on your head and with the whole air circulating inside. When we operate, we wear that. That's a bit more expensive. You only use it when you're operating on the patients. And the same thing, you have to shower then, you come out and change. So yeah, I shower many times at work nowadays whenever I have to deal with COVID patients. So that's just a brief summary of what we do every day.
Okay, doctor. So actually, your preparation for work, during work and after work, it does take a lot of time, and you have to be very meticulous the way you handle
Yeah, it's a bit
your shipments.
tedious and meticulous. Yeah, that's
Very
right.
tedious, yes, yes. So I guess at any part of your work, 100%, you have to be fully aware of what's happening around you and also with your team, because there can be things that sometimes you may forget, so it's like, you have to be alert and on your toes all the time, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's right. I mean,
is there any
generally,
concerns? Is there anything like, that is of concern to you when it comes to taking precautions?
okay. I mean, first of all, in my line of work, when I operate on patients, you always double check, make sure everything is done. Even before this COVID, we're always meticulous with what we do. We don't make any mistakes. We make mistakes, patients are going to pay for it. So you're always meticulous. You're very careful. That's always been a practice for any doctors, any surgeons, I think, around the country. Now, of course, like you said, because of COVID, we take additional precautions in the sense that we don't want to expose anybody to the virus, right? So we always, like I said, once we don properly, we have somebody to double check, make sure everything is proper, everything is sealed before we go in and start, and the patient is also properly stabilized, optimized. We don't want to, waste time, expose people unnecessarily. Concerns, if you ask me, always the concern is inadvertently whether we bring back the virus home. Of course, like I said, we shower and all that. We never know what we carry back home sometimes, especially when you have elderly parents at home. You're always concerned about them. So you want to make sure that you come back home safe before you meet your wife, your parents. You don't want to be the reason they get COVID and end up, getting to the hospital or worse things can happen. So that's the only major concern every day when I come back from work is whether I'm actually bringing anything back home. I think most people who are working in the COVID front lines would have the same concern.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, doctor. So, we do feel, on behalf of all netizens, we do feel the sacrifices that the frontliners are going through, and the dedication, especially the discipline, these are just totally, priceless. And, I believe that every netizen should be aware of the kind of work that the frontliners and the dangers that the frontliners are facing. So therefore, it's very important for us to keep spreading awareness every day of our lives. I know there are some careless people outside, but, as concerned netizens, we should all do our part for the country. And
Yeah, let me just
of
stop
course,
you there for a while, Miss Roshanee, just to say about, you say careless people, right? I mean, I won't label them as careless. Of course, maybe some people are blatantly, they don't have any regards or anything, but that is probably a very small population. Careless is probably the word I won't use because I feel that the public, they're aware, but what we have this mentality that, most young people or fit people, they think that even if I get COVID, I'm not going to, have how to say terminal event out of it. I'm not going to die of it, or I'm fit enough. Like you said, most of the time, of course, now the numbers are going up, but generally they tend to recover well. So what these people think is, it's like even if I get it, I'm going to be okay. That is the majority of the thinking. That's why you see people breaking the SOP, people going out, people having gatherings. It's like even if I get it, it's just COVID. But what they don't understand is, you get it, you may recover fine, but you're also disseminating or infecting others. So when you infect others, especially if you infect your parents, your grandparents, anybody above the age of 60, 65 with medical conditions, they may not make it. And in the end of the day, if you turn on regret, you're the reason. And I've seen patients like that, right? They said, yeah, I brought this back, I'm okay, but my father or grandmother, is going to die. That's when they regret, or when they realize, I should have been more careful. I should have followed SOP. Not be too late. We just need to create the awareness so the people or the public knows that they have to all follow to avoid this scenario, avoid this from happening to them or to their loved ones. That's all. I think it's not careless, like I said, is they just don't see, because majority of people, maybe one of the friends would have got it. Oh yeah, I'm okay. I recovered in 2 weeks. I was there. I was at home quarantine. I was never admitted. I'm okay. So they don't see the gravity of it until you are in our shoes. We see people dying every day. Only then you realize.
yes, doctor, I absolutely agree with you. Now, when I mentioned the word careless, what I meant was, some people actually, they know when they wear their mask, right, they're not supposed to pull it down to their neck, so they know the danger of it. But sometimes because, you're so carried away with whatever you're doing, supposing, for example, you're doing grocery shopping, or, you're going to go out and pay some bills or something like that, and you tend to pull it down once in a while, especially when you're eating. So there's a lot of videos being circulated from the health ministry, how to use your mask, how to dispose your mask, and most importantly is not to pull it down to your neck. But even I sometimes do that because we forget. So it's like we have to keep reminding each other. Like for me, I always remind my children, my friends around me, and I also ask them to do the same thing for me. In case I'm seen doing that, please let me know. And the mask is something that people think that they can actually reuse, so we cannot stinge on the mask. The mask, once you use it, we must dispose of the mask. So these are the little things that sometimes netizens take for granted because they feel that they are not directly in contact with the virus. But we are not sure exactly where the virus is. So nevertheless, we have to ensure that we are always aware of the fact that social distancing, mask, and of course your sanitizer, these three things. But in your line of work, you have to do extra protection, like you said, all that, and gloves as well. So some people are even thinking of using gloves when they go grocery shopping. So I don't see all this as something which is not normal anymore. It's already become the new norm to see people
Actually, one
using
second, Miss
face
Roshini,
shield, right?
about the glove, right? Glove for public to use when they go grocery shopping is something that we probably won't recommend so much, because if you wear glove, you tend to neglect on hand washing, right? You wear glove, you touch everything, and then you probably forget. Not like us, when I go into a COVID ward, I wear only for this time. Once I come out, gloves are off, and then we wash our hands. But when public, or like you said, if you do grocery, you go, you touch something, then you touch your face, and then you're never going to change the glove until the whole sequence, the event is over, which is long. So there's a higher risk of you disseminating the virus by wearing gloves. So I would recommend you carry a small bottle of hand sanitizer. Every time you contact something, you just pour a few drops in your hand and just, do a hand wash. That's actually a lot more recommended. They also save money from buying gloves as well. You just don't think the mask, like you said, and wear it properly. I think that'd be more than enough.
Right. So, in your opinion, it's best not to wear the gloves because there's a chance of you spreading the germs or the virus more than being just with your bare hands. So the best is just to use your hand sanitizer regularly. Correct?
Yes, that's right.
Point noted. Point noted. Thank you, doctor. Because lately, some groups, how they like to propagate an issue and make, things viral, So we have a lot of people sharing information as well as giving advice. So lately I read about people saying that, hey, let's wear gloves when we go out, So when you touch something, you're not exactly directly letting whatever is out there touch your skin. But you're right. You're absolutely right, doctor, because we tend to use the same gloves to touch any part of our body or someone else who is close to us, right? So that's why we need to just keep on educating the public and keep telling the public that this is not something that is part of the SOP. As long as you have your mask on, your sanitizers on, and of course, social distancing. Okay, doctor. Thank you very much for all the pointers that you've just given us. So now we're going to take a short break, commercial break, and we shall be right back shortly.
Okay.
Hi, Vanakkam. Now, your master Dr. Adrian Suresh, and I am now with Dato Padma Shri Dato Ramli Ibrahim, where we are here actually to have a shout out of our program on the 21st of June 2021. In the program, the first time Chair Yoga for Unity. Chair Yoga is something that I came up with YOZUMM program. In the நிறைய பேர் வராங்க இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமை நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் இந்த சேர் யோகா என்னதான் சேர் யோகா கொடுக்குறோம், அதில் என்னென்ன பெனிஃபிட் இருக்கு, இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பார்க்கறதுக்கு on the 21st of June 2021 International Yoga Day. அதோட team Yoga for Unity
and Well-Being.
Yes. And Dato, something on the program?
Yes, it's going to be held for 100 days.
Yes,
and
from today, starting from today.
On Saturday and
Yes,
Sunday
Sundays.
morning. Wow, it's a great way to get well, even for those who cannot do real asanas, to sit and sweat for them.
Exactly. That's what the whole thing is here for. Yoga for everyone means yoga for those who are also in the house, as our aunties and uncles, our pa and amma who sitting in the house find difficult to do their body movement.
Yes,
So you just have to sit and sweat with the asanas that we have. And it's going to be on the 21st of June 2021 in conjunction with the International Yoga Day. So please join us and give us all your support.
Hello there. We are back again in the show, and together with me in the studio today, we have Dr. Buveinthiran, who is a general surgeon from GH Kuala Lumpur. Doctor, welcome back.
Hi, welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, Doctor, next question for you. There are many netizens out there who are still hesitating to take the vaccine. Now, what would your advice be to them?
Okay. But let's just go into something simple first. All right. Okay. For example, Miss Roche, right? I'm sure you've brought your children or somebody to the clinic. All right. You see a doctor in the clinic. You go for a viral fever, correct? And then they will say, okay, this is viral fever. You don't need antibiotics. And I'm sure most of you would have probably seen it. So after so long, they will say no need, not for. There's no need for antibiotics. This will resolve on its own. But most parents, I'm sure you probably will agree with me that you probably insist, no, I want antibiotics to get faster, get better faster, things like that. Correct? Okay.
That's right.
But antibiotics carry a higher risk of patient developing anaphylactic reaction or allergic reaction that everybody keeps talking about when taking the vaccine. You know, this thing that vaccines are bad. The high risk of you might get blood clot, you might get anaphylactic reaction, you might get very bad allergic reaction. Is there anything that you take? There's a small risk. Right? It's almost negligible. The benefits of taking the vaccine, it's far, it outweighs the adverse event or the cons of it by so far. All right. So I would definitely recommend, if you have the opportunity, first of all, everybody has to register for the vaccine, and you have given the opportunity to take the vaccine, please go and, without hesitation, go immediately and take the vaccine. There's only one most effective way for us to deal with this uprising of cases and to end this MCO so that we can go back into normal. I'm sure everybody wants to go out, have fun with their friends, go out, have some meals outside. All that we can't do right now because of this. Numbers are just keep going up. So the vaccination program, which is initiated by the government, is very important for us to flatten this curve. But we need everybody's cooperation, everybody's support, without being so worried about whatever we read on. So much of things gets circulated on WhatsApp, the unverified sources of substances, which just disseminates fear. So we should avoid, believing or listening or forwarding unverified stuff on WhatsApp and unnecessarily getting fear among public. All right. So vaccination is it's something that I highly recommend. Everybody should do it. That's the only way for us to deal with this pandemic.
Excellent, Doctor. Excellent. So, basically, it's just that you need to go ahead and just take it. It's just your own guidance for your own health and its prevention. Okay, what would you recommend to the public, Doctor, if, to advise the netizens to help to flatten the curve? What would your advice be?
Okay, all right. So, advice to the public or the netizens, okay? First of all, follow the SOP. Like I said, don't take it lightly. Like I mentioned earlier as well, what we all do is we take it lightly. Okay, I'm healthy, I'm fit, even if I get it, I'm going to recover. I'm going to recover. But until you might recover, but you may, give it to somebody who might be very close to you who may not recover. That's when you realize, then it becomes a bit, too late. So follow SOP, strictly, hand washing, face mask, maintain distance, as much as possible. If you don't need to go out of the house, stay at home. We can order almost everything now online, and they give you all I think today 6 Lazada promotion, and all this. You can order everything at home. So my suggestion is stay at home. Okay, you might spend a bit more than if you go out, but probably the safest thing to do. So that's number one. Number two, register the My Sejahtera for the vaccine. And once you get the date for the vaccine, don't miss it. Go and get the vaccine. And get all your family members to register as well. If somebody is frightened, afraid, if they really have some concerns about allergy, if they have some history of allergy before and all that, they of course can go and see their doctor, family doctor, and get advice whether they're suitable for the vaccine or not. Like I said, the risk of the adverse event from the vaccine is very, very low. It's very safe. So far, I don't think that anybody had severe adverse reactions to the vaccine. So I think we should all go ahead and get the vaccine.
Exactly, doctor. The most important thing is just to follow the call of the government, because the government is doing everything to ensure that the netizens, the public, are safe. So with that, the drive for the vaccination is ongoing right now. So everybody have to do their part to register. And basically, I think people who are very fit, there's a theory, that people who are very fit, they actually have less chance to fall ill. What do you think about that? Well, to be very honest, since the lockdown, I've been home. So I must thank the digital technology, because we are actually connected to the whole world through the touch of a button, right? And now we have lots and lots of sessions on Zoom for dance classes, exercise, and like that, many are already embarking on a new journey to keep themselves fit. So in one way, this pandemic has actually created a lot more awareness than before. That's what I believe. And looking at you, doctor, what is your secret? Do you have any kind of fitness regime that you follow?
Well, okay, like I said earlier, I'm nowhere as fit as you are. You look very fit yourself. So I'm sure you have a regime you can share with us later. Okay,
I will.
Like I said, probably I'm busy at work, and now because of MCO, of course, your physical activities outside, everything is very much limited. I used to play badminton regularly, 2 times a week with my dad, especially my dad, my brother. So that's one way. And then I used to run. Okay. But otherwise, I said now with this MCO lockdown, so you have to find ways. Like you said, the world has changed so much now. Everything can be done online, isn't it? Everything is available online. You have your dance programs, you have your aerobics you can do online. You can even do bodybuilding based on YouTube videos at home if you really want to go into that. So there's no excuse for us to not be fit or remain fit. And like you said, when you're fit, not only COVID, when you're fit, you take care of your physical self, your body weight, what you take in, what you put into your body. Of course, not only COVID, you also save yourself, protect yourself from other diseases. For example, diabetes, all these non-communicable diseases, we call it, high cholesterol, hyperlipidemia, diabetes, hypertension. These things you won't get. When you're fit, you burn the thing you take in, these things definitely you are safe from it. So maybe you should share with us what is your secret to keep yourself fit. Like I said, for me right now, what I do is I just do a bit of running at home on a treadmill once or twice a week. But that's all right now, because we can't play badminton, you can't play any contact sports outside, right? So yeah, that's that.
That's correct. Okay, doctor. Back to your question. You asked me why, or rather how I'm keeping fit, right? So like you, I used to be an outdoor person, right? My pastimes were actually, doing a bit of running, anything that make me sweat. And I'm also a dance student. I do Bollywood dance. And ironically, this pandemic had actually, I'm prepared for the pandemic because just before the pandemic started last year, that was around about February, I enrolled as a yoga student. Okay. So after I took up yoga, before taking up yoga, I used to think, this is like, what kind of activity is this? I'm not even going to sweat much, it's just a few asanas here and there. But I was very wrong, because yoga actually makes you sweat from head to toe. We have asanas like Surya Namaskar, which actually conditions and it, makes your whole body flexible if you practice it on a daily routine. Okay. Doctor, have you heard of chair yoga? You've heard about yoga, right? Have you heard of
Yeah,
chair
I've heard
yoga?
of yoga because my mother does yoga. She used to do regularly until now because of this, again, because of this MCO, it's COVID. I told her it's in the house quietly. But otherwise, yeah, she used to do this, I think the yoga that you mentioned, all these asanas, these Surya Namaskaram and all that. But chair yoga, no, I've not heard of that. No, not yet. Maybe you can tell us what it
Okay,
is.
doctor. Our founder, Dr. Adrian Suresh, has come up with YOZUMM chair yoga, which is doing all of the asanas of yoga seated on a chair. Now, this chair yoga especially will benefit elderly people or even those young people who have certain disabilities or limitations to their body movements due to some kind of ailments or, all that. And it's specially designed for these people. And believe me, a lot of people have actually given us very good results, very good miraculous stories that we can share. But we have actually launched our 100-day program, YOZUMM Chair Yoga program, on our page, Anti-Aging Yoga and Wellness Malaysia. Every morning, Dr. Adrian Suresh will have his 2-hour session. During this 2-hour session, he will show all our audience how to do simple asanas seated in a chair in the comfort of your home, of your own home, even on a sofa. Okay, so this chair yoga also includes breathing techniques because every one of us know yoga is also breathing techniques. You see, pranayama they call it, but the techniques actually help you with your immune system as well. So this is a very important point to note. And we are now introducing chair yoga to the public. So please feel free to join us on our daily show every day without fail for 2 hours on our page. You can just click on our page. Please like and follow our page, by the way, Doctor. And yes, this is something which is, the kind of success stories, the miracle stories that we've heard from people who've been taking chair yoga is amazing. I'm sure all this while you yourself would have thought, oh, yoga, I have to get on the floor, I have to be lying down and all that, right? So now,
That's what always thought about. That's right. Okay, I mean,
yes,
let's just say something about a little bit about yoga, right? Yoga, I mean, it's been there for years and years. I think it's been there, I think, like hundreds of years, probably even thousands. It's been there for so long. And the benefits of yoga, I think, is already been proven, right? I mean, there's so much of literature. If you Google, if you read up any text, yoga's benefit it's there, and it's such a wide following. I think it's a Sadhguru the person leading this whole yoga. I mean, everybody knows the benefits of yoga. So if you're saying this chair yoga is equally, I've not heard of chair yoga until today. I'm trying to follow up after this, since you're saying every day is 2 hours show. So definitely I will follow. But if it can give you the kind of benefits, improve your immunity, improve your breathing capability, which is very helpful in not only COVID, every disease condition that you have. If you can improve your breathing, it makes a lot of difference. Because let's say you're going for a major abdominal surgery, the most common complication patients have after surgery is they have difficulty in breathing. So by doing this chair yoga, in fact, if I can teach some basic chair yoga to my patients post-surgery, I think it'll be very beneficial. So it's something that we can definitely look forward to, and it picks up, it'll be good for everybody. The other thing I also want to mention here is because of COVID, I forgot to mention earlier, because of COVID per se, all the hospitals beds have been occupied by COVID patients. All right. So the other patients who are not requiring urgent surgery, their surgery also is delayed and postponed. So if we can bring down these COVID cases, COVID numbers, definitely be very helpful to improve our health services and go back to the normal. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for the trust in yoga. The primary objective of this show is to share and create awareness to the public about the importance of good health. Hence, our tagline, good health is wealth. So Dr. Adrian has created this, and every morning without fail, we also have interviews with people who've had recovery. There are people who had recovery from frozen shoulder, knee problem. I myself had one incident where I had a soft tissue tear on my right knee. And when I went to Dr. Adrian Suresh, I was very doubtful. How am I going to, learn all these asanas? So, the thing about Dr. Adrian is that he will teach the yoga asanas according to the person's capability. Like, if you have certain reduced mobility with your arms or your legs, he will tailor the program according to the person. And after about 2 months, I started seeing improvement with my knee. And I was truly amazed. I never knew I could just heal myself just like that, because I was actually supposed to go for physiotherapy. And I opted for
Okay,
this. So when I
I
opted
see.
for this, I was pleasantly surprised. And today, after a year, I do not have the pain. I can move, I can dance, I can go on with my classes for my Bollywood dance class. And I'm continuing with yoga. And today, I'm made the brand ambassador, because
I
I'm
see.
always talking about yoga to everybody, because a lot of people do not like to do strenuous exercise. They want to do something which is more relaxed. Now everyone can yoga, because we have chair yoga. Chair yoga is meant for not only elderly or people who have some pains here and there. Even while watching TV, if you just don't feel like doing anything else, you can just continue with the asanas, and it helps you tremendously, believe me.
I
Perhaps
don't
you can
disagree
get
with
your
it.
mom Perhaps you can get your
Yeah,
mom
yeah,
to watch
definitely. I
our
mean,
show
when you
online.
were talking about yoga, my mother was, like I said, even when she had some flu, cough, and cold, she used to tell me, of course, at the time I used to disagree with her. I say, go and get some treatment and all that. She said, no, I'll go and see my yoga master, and then he'll teach me some breathing exercise, and then I'll feel better for knee pain, back pain. So I guess it's not very different from physiotherapy. Like you said, probably doing your yoga, your asanas, and all, it's still stretching. It's probably physiotherapy, some sort of physiotherapy as well. That's why you strengthen your muscles and all that. That's why you don't feel any pain. You're back to your, normal self. So yeah, definitely I can tell my mother to do this chair yoga. I'll tell her about it after this, definitely for sure. See whether she would be keen to join and see how much it helps her.
I'm sure she will love it. She will love it, because the other thing, doctor, I'd also like to suggest to you. I know most of the frontliners have got very limited time for themselves. Sometimes we do see videos of how the doctors and nurses are taking a short nap in between their shifts, and sometimes they are even staying at the hospital and not going home. Because of lack of staff and all that. So believe me, we are really, our hearts really go out to all the frontliners out there. But at the same time, do take care of your health, and I'm sure you're taking all the steps necessary. But as you said earlier, you are still playing badminton, but you have less time for your exercise. So why not just try and suggest this to your staff, right, while they're just seated on their desk, and they're just relaxing for a while, they can actually practice these asanas and the breathing as well, the breathing technique. And then, you can see some improvement in their work as well, because how much food can you take, nutritious food can you take? Your body also needs to have some form of exercise where at least you sweat it out a little bit. And how do you actually balance your work and your home life, doctor? Would you like to share with us a little bit of that?
Okay, balance work and home life. Like you said, probably now we're a bit stretched, because of the numbers that we see every day. You see, I think, 7,000, 8,000 cases per day. And I'm in HKL. Of course, in Klang Valley, the primary hospital for COVID is Sungai Buloh. And then we have the center called MIBS in Serdang, which is also, I think, all both of them are already full. I think like 100% occupancy. So the next place you come to in HKL, and I think all hospitals in Klang Valley have actually become hybrid hospitals where they deal with COVID and also non-COVID patients. So like I say, when I go to work, of course, when you're at work, you're completely focused at work. You try to do as much as you can to save all of them. Make sure they all go back home, and spend time with their loved ones. So coming back to me, when I come back home, like I said earlier, once we leave the ward, we have to shower in the ward itself. So like I said earlier, we shower a lot of times in the hospital. Sometimes shower up to 5, 6 times in the hospital before I come back home. Because different ward we go in, we have to, each time we go in and come out, we have to shower. So once I come back home, all right, like I said, we always have this concern, this fear that we bring back this thing home. So what we do, come back home, we go and have a shower first immediately before speaking to your loved ones, your parents or your wife, and your brothers, siblings, and all that. Otherwise, when I'm at home, I try to take my mind off work. Sometimes it's difficult to do, especially being a surgeon. If you operated on some patient, it's always the back of your mind until the patient goes back home. You want everybody to go back home. But of course, some unfortunate circumstances, they can have complications. It tends to take a toll a little bit on you. It does. So when you're with your loved one, family and all, you do something fun. It takes things a bit, makes things a bit lighter. You get to have a bit of fun. That's what I do normally. So I just come back home, talk to my wife, talk to my dad. Yeah, I'm sure you probably do the same. When you speak to them, you tend to feel better about yourself and also de-stress. That's one thing that I do. And of course, being fit, I say I used to play a lot of games, so that helps as well. But now because of this COVID, not much of that. Then watch some shows with my parents, or now we have all, like I said, a lot of things you can do at home. You more and more of just bringing yourself to doing it. If you have time, you can watch Netflix. There's so many shows you can watch with your parents, your loved one. Just do something like that to keep yourself occupied and take your mind off whatever is going on outside. So that's what I do to keep it balanced. So when I come back home, I try to take things off my mind just to be in the present and just spend some time with them.
Yes, doctor. I believe that you must have a balance. Your mental state is very, very important, because only when you're relaxed and you're able to unwind, then you're able to go back to work and give your 100%. So
Yes.
having said that, I must say, on behalf of all the netizens, we would like to say thank you. Thank you to our frontliners who are toiling it away day and night, for your sacrifices, for the discipline that you put into your work, for your dedication, and for your passion in saving lives. Since this
Thank
pandemic
you, Ms.
started,
Roshi.
since this pandemic started 1 year ago, we have never stopped praying for our frontliners' safety. I know there have been a lot of sad news that comes, in the news once in a while, of frontliners losing their lives and all that. But our heart goes out to them and their families, and we appreciate every little thing done by our frontliners, especially the frontliners who are directly involved in the COVID-19 team. So having said that,
Thank you.
doctor, thank you so much, and your deeds will never go unnoticed, and we are forever thankful to you. However,
Thank
we
you.
on our part, you're most welcome. We on our part, we will continue to educate the public. We will continue to spread the awareness, because this pandemic has brought the whole world to its feet. Yes, a small virus has done that, and what it has done is that it has made us open our eyes and our ears and look around us. But the good thing about it is that it has brought mankind together. It has brought humans together. We have come together as humans to fight and combat COVID-19 together. It's a global pandemic, but we are not just talking about one nation here. We are talking about many
The whole world.
nations. Yes, the whole world. The whole world is affected. So, what lessons have we learned from this pandemic? To not take anything for granted in life. Life is so fragile. Yes, this pandemic has hit us really, really hard, but it has taught us a valuable lessons, and I hope everybody continue being safe and continue with your social distancing. And to you, doctor, is there anything else you would like to tell us before we come to the end of the
Yeah.
show?
First of all, thank you very much for those kind words. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Uh, yeah, I mean, we can't win this battle alone. Definitely, we need everybody's help, everybody's cooperation, so that we can, overcome this. I won't disagree with you that this virus has brought the world to its knees, but at the same time, it's also brought in a lot of change. Now I feel the world has gotten a lot closer. Like I said, even now we're doing this, online. Everything has been brought, so I can before this pandemic, this thing is never going to happen. If you're going to do this, I probably have to come to your studio, and we've probably done that. So now with this, we can get people any part of the world to join us and have this kind of conversation. So it's definitely brought the world a lot closer. Okay. So my thing is, I would also like to ask for cooperation from everybody watching the show to the public. Get vaccinated, follow the SOPs. Let's win this battle. You've got to help us to do it so that we can return to normal.
Yes, Doctor. The point to note here is that, yes, it's a lockdown. Yes, we are all locked down. Where are we locked down? We are in our own homes, in the comfort of our own homes, with our own family members. So there are a lot of people out there who are separated with their families, they're being apart. And compared to them, many of us are actually very fortunate that we are here safe. So we just have to
keep reminding
ourselves.
You just reminded me 1 second. Just to add on that, like you said, for myself, I'm dealing with this COVID. I'm lucky in the sense that I get to come back home to my parents. But there are also frontliners who are separated from the family. Some of them might be working in Sabah, Sarawak, and their loved ones are here in Peninsula, or vice versa. They might be in Sabah, Sarawak, or even different states. They might be in Kelantan, and some of them might be in Selangor. They don't get to travel and they don't get to see because of their work commitments, because they're sacrificing to treat this COVID pandemic. So for everybody's sake, for everyone, we need to win this battle. Like you said earlier, let's do this, but we need everybody's cooperation.
Yes, Doctor. And of course, the most important thing is that we must constantly also pray for each other's safety, keep everyone in our positive thoughts and keep praying for everybody's safety, as well as do our part as netizens to flatten the curve. And back to Chair Yoga again. Doctor, hope to see you on our show, our daily show. I will send you the link.
Sure.
And to all our viewers who are out there watching, you may actually join us every morning and take part in our chair yoga together with your master, Dr. Adrian Suresh. He will teach you the actual breathing techniques as well. And we also have other workshops planned for all of you during this 100-day program in conjunction with International Yoga Day, which falls on the 21st of June 2021. So let's all hope for a better environment and a safer environment for every one of us. Let us all do our part. Let us all do our part to ensure that we fight this COVID-19 pandemic. We can all do it if we are all of the same mind. And once again, Dr. Buveinthiran, it's your off day today. We truly appreciate the fact that you took some time off to be here with us and, to give us a little bit of pointers and let us have a sneak preview of peek at your life as a surgeon in the COVID-19 team. Thank you so very much on behalf of Anti-Aging Yoga and Wellness of Malaysia. And please be safe, and we hope to see you again in the future shows one day. All right, and don't forget to recommend this to your mother, okay?
We do. Thank you so much, Mr. Roshanee. My pleasure being here today. I hope we created some awareness, and definitely I'll tell my mother to give it a try to chair yoga. I myself might look it up and see when I'm free. I'll try to join you as well. Thank you.
Okay, this is for our viewers as well, Doctor, and as well as for you. For all of you who are watching, if you come into our link, you will get free chair yoga for Tuesdays and Thursdays for free. It's a free trial. Please come in and learn the entire asanas from A to Z from your master, Dr. Adrian. And the morning shows, which run from 8 to 10, actually has got combination of other activities as well. So the chair yoga is also during that morning show, but it's more on the surface. So for those of you who like to know more, please do contact us. You can follow our page for more information. And yes, let's fight this together. Let's fight this together and let's stay healthy together. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching our show today. And I am Roshanee, the brand ambassador for Anti-Aging Yoga and Wellness of Malaysia. I am doing this show every Sunday, English edition, Please do join me next week, same time. And thank you, Doctor. Thank you, everyone. See you all again next week.
Thank you.